everybody, so in this video I'm going to talk about the 4th and 5th wear of breaking in this corset. Now you might ask, how did I get in 2 different break-in sessions in one day? And the real reason is because I actually recorded the original video on a Friday and uploaded it on a Sunday, so I did have a little bit of space in between there to edit my videos and upload them, so there is a bit of a lag between my recording these and you're actually seeing them. But it is actually possible to break in your corset twice in one day. The general method of seasoning your corsets that I usually prescribe to is the Romantasy method that I had read on their website many years ago, and it's a basic guideline of 2-2-2, 3 sets of 2s, and what that basically represents is to wear your corset for about 2 hours at a time at a reduction no more than 2 inches smaller than your natural waist measurement every day for 2 weeks. But what if you are on a strict timeline and say you got your new corset in the mail only a week before a special event and you want to have your corset seasoned before that event? It is technically possible to break it in that time period. You might be able to have, say, a break-in session in the morning, say wearing your corset from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning before you go to school or work, and then after you come home you can wear it again from 7 in the evening to 9 in the evening. And what that will do is it will give your body enough time to rest in between the break-in sessions if you're not used to wearing the corset, so you're not going to feel sore by wearing your corset too long at a time. And it will also give your corset time to air out and be ready for the next break-in session. So it is technically possible to break in your corset in less than 2 weeks if you break up your break-in sessions into morning and evening sessions. Now that is if you are going to be seasoning your corset by the Romantasy method. There are other methods of breaking in your corset. If you just Google breaking in your corset or seasoning your corset online, there are a few different methods that you will find will come up. Orchard Corset recently released a video and said that after wearing your corset about 5 to 7 times, it will begin to soften to your body. On the other end of the spectrum, Fran from Contour Corset says that her corsets are more seasoned after you wear it about 100 hours. So there is definitely a large span in there. So based on what I just said, depending on the experience of the corset wearer and depending on the type of corset, it could take anywhere between 10 hours and 100 hours to properly season any corset. So how do you know when your corset is properly seasoned? Because like I said in my previous video, different corsets require different break-in times. Well, it really comes down to how you feel in the corset and how the corset looks and feels on you. So it actually begins to feel like it's shaping to your body. Of course, the corset shapes you as much as you shape it, if not more, but it actually does begin to feel more comfortable. You feel that your muscles are not fighting the corset anymore. You begin to feel relaxed and settled into the corset. Also, the corset itself begins to smooth over your own curves instead of flaring away from your body. The corset just begins to feel a little bit more familiar and feel more like a hug that you recognize as opposed to a squeezing from a foreign object. And as promised, I'm showing what the boning channels and the seams look like when the corset is on my body compared to off. So you can see that some of the boning channels are literally sewn on a curve, and that cannot be helped when you're making a corset this curvy. But more than the curve itself, I want you to pay attention to how wobbly any of the seams are. You can see that all the seams and the boning channels are considerably less wobbly when the corset is on my body compared to when it's off. And here's what the corset looks like after the 5th wearing, the 5th time breaking it in. And changes are becoming a little bit harder to detect, but basically I'm seeing a little bit more wrinkling around the waistline. Like I said before, I've seen that in many of my other corsets. I'm beginning to see that the back bones are beginning to contour to the curve of my spine. And I don't mean like that curve. I don't have scoliosis. Actually, my asymmetry is mostly the fact that my left hip protrudes more. But rather, if I turn it on its side, the corset bones in the back are beginning to hug my lumbar area. So it actually gives better support to my lumbar area. And if you remember in a previous video, I was talking about how the oblique area was starting to loosen up for me. It was starting to feel more seasoned and softened, but the back part was feeling a little bit more stiff. I feel that in the past 2 wearings of this, the back is becoming a little bit softer and starting to season and form to my curves there, so that's good. Not a whole lot of wear that I see otherwise, except for the fact that I'm beginning to see a tiny bit of wrinkling forming on the center back panels by the grommets and the center front panel at the busk. I'm just beginning to see a little bit more tension there, but there are no seams coming out. It's still holding strong there, and the lining inside is still holding strong as well. This hand binding, no tension on it, so pretty good overall. So I will see you guys in a couple of days for the next seasoning video. If you have any questions, as usual, leave them in the comment below and I'll be happy to get back to you, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.